Alright, Wuthering Waves fans, today we're diving into something pretty interesting, the Mutant Resonators. You've probably seen their names pop up in the lore, but what does it really mean to be a Mutant Resonator? Well, in the world of Wuthering Waves, scientists have been studying resonators for years, analyzing their waveform graph data. Most characters fall into predictable patterns, but a select few, Chixia, Baiji, Danjin, Sanhua, Mortefi, and Jian, stand out with something called a non-convergent Rebel's curve. Basically, they're power spikes in a way that defies the norm, making them a bit of an anomaly. But here's the thing. While this is all cool from a lore perspective, it doesn't actually affect their stats or abilities in gameplay. So what we're really here for is the big question. Which of these 6 Mutant Resonators are the best? That's where this tier list comes in. We're ranking all of them based on their performance, skills, and impact on the current meta. Whether you're looking for a powerhouse DPS, a support that keeps your team alive, or just someone who feels great to play, we've got you covered. Some of these Resonators are must-haves, while others, well, let's just say they might not be your first pick. Let's break it all down. I'm quickly moving on to the video. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching! Alright, let's talk about Chixia, the budget queen of ranged combat in Wuthering Waves. Now I know she might not be the flashiest mutant resonator out there, but don't sleep on her just yet. Sure, her AoE damage isn't the greatest, and she needs a bit more field time than you'd like, but hear me out, she's got some solid advantages. If you're just starting out and need a reliable pistol user, Chixia is one of your best bets. Her mobility is her biggest strength, letting her zip around the battlefield while keeping up the pressure on enemies. What really makes Chixia stand out is her sliding move. This little trick lets her reposition quickly, making it harder for enemies to pin her down. Plus, since she's a free Mutant Resonator you unlock early in the game, getting her dupes is way easier than hunting for other high-tier characters. Investing in her means you can level her up without breaking the bank, and that alone makes her a solid choice for new players who need a dependable ranged fighter. That said, if you're looking for the absolute best long-range Resonator, she's probably not your endgame pick. Her damage output doesn't quite compete with top-tier ranged fighters, and she lacks the heavy-hitting burst some other characters bring. But for early and mid-game content, she's a lifesaver, simple, effective, and easy to build. If you need a no-fuss mobile shooter to carry you through the start of Wuthering Waves, Chixia has your back. Let's talk about Baiji, the budget-friendly lifeline for your Wuthering Waves team. If you're struggling to keep your squad alive in the early game, she's the perfect pick. As one of the few accessible healers, Baiji fits into almost any team comp and gives you that much needed sustain. But her real game changer? Her 5th sequence ability, which lets her revive a fallen teammate. That's huge, especially when fights start getting tougher, and you don't have Verena to bail you out. Now, is Baiji the best support in the game? Not quite. Verena still holds that crown, offering stronger healing and better buffs. But let's be real, getting Verena early on isn't exactly easy, and if you're just starting out, Baiji is a must-have. She keeps your team alive, helps you push through tough encounters, and makes the game way less stressful. So, should you invest in Baiji? If you don't have Verena, absolutely. She's reliable, easy to build, and won't let your team crumble in the middle of a fight. Even if you eventually replace her, she's the perfect early game support to get you through those rough patches. Let's talk about Danjin, the ultimate parry stealer in Wuthering Waves. If you love fast swordplay and high-energy combat, she's your girl. Danjin is one of the speediest sword users in the game, making her a natural at pulling off perfect parries. Plus, she's a solid sub-DPS with impressive base damage, so even when she's not stealing the spotlight, she's still dishing out some serious hurt. And let's be real, playing as Danjin just feels good. Her combos are flashy, her movements are crisp, and she gives off those 5-star vibes, almost like a budget Jian. Now, if there's one thing to keep in mind, it's that Danjin isn't exactly built like a tank. She's got some of the lowest durability among sword users, which means you'll either need quick reflexes or a strong support character to keep her alive. But here's the thing, a fully invested Danjin hits hard. When she's maxed out, her raw damage output can carry fights, making it easy to forgive her glass cannon nature, If you can work around her fragility, she's more than worth the effort. And here's where things get interesting. There's a lot of buzz about how Changli might shake up Danjin's place in the meta. With Changli's potential synergy and buffs, Danjin could become an even bigger powerhouse than she already is. So if you're thinking about building her, now might be the perfect time. High-speed swordplay, satisfying parries, and top-tier sub-DPS potential. What's not to love? Alright, let's talk about Wuthering Waves' Queen of Burst Damage, Sanhua. If you're looking for a 4-star Resonator who can dish out serious damage in short windows, she's your girl. Sanhua is all about quick energy gain and effortless skill activation, making her one of the easiest characters to pick up and play. Thanks to her ice-based traps, she can lock down enemies and detonate them for massive damage, and the best part, she's free. You don't have to spend a single pull to get her, which is a huge win if you're trying to build a strong team on a budget. Now, what really makes Sanhua shine is her energy efficiency. She builds up concerto energy fast, meaning you can spam her abilities more often than most characters in her tier. Since her passive abilities enhance her basic attacks, she's one of those characters who stays consistently useful as long as you keep her in rotation. This makes her a great pick for early and mid-game content, where quick bursts of damage can help you clear enemies fast. She might not have the flashiest mechanics, but she's reliable, effective, and a solid choice for any Glacio team. That said, if you're aiming for high-level meta teams, you'll need to invest in her upgrades. Sanhua really starts to shine after unlocking her first few sequences and equipping a strong weapon. Without them, she can feel a little underwhelming compared to stronger burst damage dealers. But if you're willing to put in the effort, she can absolutely carry her weight. Whether you're just starting out or need a secondary DPS with insane burst potential, Sanhua is a fantastic pick. Let's talk about Mortefi, the stylish, high-damage pistol wielder that every Jian first team dreams of having. If you're looking for a sub-DPS who can dish out solid damage while boosting your main carry, Mortefi is your guy. His ATK buff alone makes him a fantastic team player, but when you add in his crisp animations and top-tier voice acting, he quickly becomes one of the most polished Resonators in Wuthering Waves. Every shot feels smooth, every ability looks flashy, and overall, he just brings a premium vibe to the battlefield. Now, before you go all in on Mortefi, there's a catch. He's not cheap. Unlike Chixia, who's practically handed to you, Mortefi makes you work for him. Unlocking him isn't easy, and once you do, he demands high sequences and top-tier weapons to really shine. If you're not willing to invest, he won't hit nearly as hard as you'd like. But for those who put in the effort, the payoff is huge. Mortefi scales incredibly well, making him a staple in high-level teams. Because of his high investment cost, some players might hesitate to build him, but let's be real, high-ranking players know his value. When properly equipped, Mortefi outshines most other pistol users, including Chixia. She's great for beginners, sure, but Mortefi is on a different level. If you want a sub-DPS that can actually carry his weight while making your main DPS even stronger, Mortefi is worth every resource you put into him. Let's talk about the Arrow King himself, Jian. If you're looking for the best main DPS in Wuthering Waves, this guy is the whole package. Speed? Check. Power? Absolutely. AoE crowd control? You bet. Jian isn't just another sword-swinging Resonator. He dominates the battlefield, pulling enemies together and wiping them out in one clean sweep. His burst damage is insane, making him an absolute must-have for players who love flashy, high-impact gameplay. What's even better? He's not one of those characters who needs crazy investment to be viable. Sure, upgrading his sequences or getting his exclusive 5-star weapon will make him stronger, but even at base level, he's already a monster. You can start using him at full potential the moment you unlock him, which is a huge plus compared to other high-tier DPS Resonators who need tons of resources to shine. Now, here's the catch. He's a 5-star, which means getting him is easier said than done. Unless luck is on your side, you might not even see Jian until later in the game. But if you do manage to pull him, congrats, you've just secured one of the best DPS units in Wuthering Waves. From early game mobs to late game bosses, Jian is a force to be reckoned with. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.